Port Moody-Burquitlam.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Usually at this point, I would say that I'm standing in the House to speak. But of course, I'm not in the House and I'm not standing. I'm speaking from my home. It's one of the changes we've all had to make in these challenging times. As Parliamentary Secretary of Technology, I come across change every day in the way of innovation. Many companies right here in BC are the architects of change as they are coming up with new ways of doing things. More efficient or cleaner or cheaper or simply better ways of doing things. The tech sector in BC is world-class and has the potential to grow even more and become a major part of our economy. As we discuss economic recovery, I often hear about the role that the tech sector will play in that recovery. I've been hosting economic roundtables with stakeholders in the tech sector over the last few months, and one message I'm hearing loud and clear is this. The pandemic is our opportunity to recreate the BC economy, to be an economy of the future that embraces innovation, is cleaner and greener and more sustainable. The challenges we are facing today, individually and throughout the economy, are enormous. At the same time, we can't forget the other crisis that will become increasingly impossible to ignore, the climate crisis. It hasn't gone away. Economic opportunity and climate action go hand in hand. And I believe that the Burrard thermal lands are the prime location to unlock these opportunities, to nurture innovation, to create jobs and help rebuild the economy, to make advances in clean energy and clean technology that could make a significant impact on climate change. Because that's what we need to do. We need to explore all options when it comes to fighting climate change, all options. Scientists have been warning about the importance of limiting the warming of our planet to 1.5 degrees Celsius. Why is 1.5 degrees so critical? It's because above this temperature, there are certain tipping points that may cause temperatures to rise much more significantly. This is the challenge of climate change. The crisis is in the future, but the action needs to be taken now. After 1.5 degrees, the Antarctic ice sheets are at risk of melting. The West Antarctic ice sheet, which has already started melting, holds enough ice to cause sea levels to rise 3.3 meters. And that's just one source of sea level rise. Part of the East Antarctic ice sheet is also melting, which could contribute another 4 meters to sea level rise. The Greenland ice sheet could contribute 7 meters of sea level rise. Once these ice sheets start melting, they will continue melting. That is why it's called a tipping point. And this is only one of many tipping points. After 1.5 degrees Celsius, there will be further thawing of permafrost in the north, which will release more greenhouse gases from carbon-rich soils. Adding more carbon into the atmosphere will further increase global temperatures, another tipping point. The drying out of the Amazon rainforest, the shifting of ocean currents in the Atlantic, causing massive changes to Europe's temperatures, the dying off of coral reefs all over the world, the loss of fisheries, the shifting and strengthening of monsoons in Africa and Asia, the shifting of boreal forests, which will, with the increased dying of trees, will actually cause these forests to emit more carbon than they absorb. Once these things start happening, there is no magical way to make them stop. The only way to stop is to keep temperatures below 1.5 degrees Celsius. And it will take a massive effort to do that. Even if all countries acted on their pledges to reduce emissions as part of the Paris Agreement, scientists estimate that the warming will still continue to rise to more than 3 degrees Celsius. Without significant action, our children will inherit a world that is nothing like the world we live in today. The only way we can actually achieve a major reduction in greenhouse gas emissions is to stop these tipping points from being triggered. And I believe we can't do that without some sort of transformative technology. That's what we need. And that's one of the reasons why Burrard thermal lands are so important. The Burrard thermal generating plant was shut down in 2016 under the previous government. It wasn't decommissioned in a way that would allow it to be restarted. So the question has been, what do we do with these lands? And for some time, I could see the potential for this site to be utilized to foster clean tech innovation, specifically around fighting climate change. My conversations with industry and with local constituents confirmed that there is significant interest in this possibility. There is no site like this in BC. It's an ideal location for cutting-edge clean tech innovation. So let's move forward. Let's embrace these opportunities and lead the world in the fight against climate change.